money highways. The idea here is to be able to make money at a greater speed. It's a big difference saying that I made my first 1 million after 20 years compared to saying that I made my first 1 million in 20 hours or in one day. So it's not just about making the money, it's also about how fast you are able to make that money. And that's one of the ideas we want to bring with money highways. There are highways of making money on a steady basis, on a daily basis. Remember, I told you one big difference between the wealthy system and the poor system is that the wealthy earns on regular basis and spends once in a while. Why in the system of the poor earns once in a while and spends on regular basis. That is the error we want to correct. The error of earning once in a while and spending on daily basis. What system you operate by will determine whether you'll be wealthy or you'll be poor. So when we talk about money, the issue of money is in two ways. One way is how to spend it. But you see, you can't spend what you don't have. So how to make it will supersede how to spend it, even though how to spend it matters. Because if you don't know how to spend it, you waste it. In fact, if you learn how to make it, in learning how to make it, you should learn how to spend it. Okay? So it's very, very important that we consider the two parts, but more on making it. Now, rethinking wealth creation. There's this book by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. A powerful book indeed. However, I came to realize that most of us have been thinking, but we are still where we are. So it suggests to me that we need to rethink. Rethinking in a way that will help you create wealth. I've been thinking in a certain way until one day God cornered me somewhere and I began to rethink about the way I've been thinking. And that way I've been thinking made me feel that what I lacked was money. By the time God showed me a few things, I realized that there was another lack that caused that money lack. And the major lack was the thinking, the way I was thinking, okay? That wasn't proper enough. So most of us, we have enough resources around us, but the way we think has limited us. Remember, a month or 2 months ago, I began sharing with you about your belief system, and I told you that your thinking cannot go beyond your belief. So for you to adjust your thinking, to think higher than you think now, you will need to believe something greater than you currently believe, okay? So we need to rethink to be able to create wealth. And what is wealth? What is really the idea of wealth? The closest opposite to that word, wealth, is lack, okay? So you are either in wealth or in lack. There are no two ways about that. So you can hear people say, oh, this person is talking from his wealth of wisdom. In other words, this person has wealth of wisdom. There could be wealth of patience. There could be wealth of grace. There could be wealth of anything. Now, once you understand lack, you can understand wealth. Because lack means insufficiency. I told you, when we talk about lack, like in Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6, God says, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. And I did tell you that lack does not just mean the absence of the required. Most of the times, lack means the insufficiency of the required. So if you apply this definition to that verse in Hosea 4:6, it will mean that God was saying, my people are destroyed for the insufficiency of knowledge. So lack means insufficiency. In the book of Romans, chapter 5 and verse 17. In case you are not comfortable with the Bible, just bear with us. Very soon you will adjust to it, okay? We found it to be the best book on personal transformation, okay? And it remains the best book it has been. It remains the best book, okay? Now, in Romans chapter 5 and verse 17, the Bible says that those that have received the abundance of grace and of the gift of righteousness. Note, it didn't say those that have received grace and the gift of righteousness. It said the abundance. That means the wealth of it, okay? So you can have grace and have the gift of righteousness and still struggle. But he said that those that have received the abundance of grace and of the gift of righteousness, they shall reign. So the reigning dimension, or the reigning dimension, anyhow you want to put it, will be based on wealth. So if you have not wealth, you cannot reign. So it takes wealth to reign. That's why even in John chapter 10 and verse 10, the Bible said, Jesus speaking, he said, I came that they might have life, and that they might have it in abundance to the full. So not in scanty quantities. Again, in the book of 2 Peter chapter 1, if you study from verse 5, when you get to verse 8, Peter the apostle will say this. If these things, those are the things you have been saying before this verse, if these things be in you and abound, not only being in you, they have to be in abundance. They make you that you are neither unfruitful or barren. That's it. If you don't have abundance, you will struggle. And that is not like me causing you. No, that's the reality of life. If you say that you lack money, it doesn't mean that you don't have pieces of money with you. But the money you have is not in sufficient quantity to help you foot your bills. So the idea of wealth is making abundance of that particular thing you already have. That's we believe you already have, okay? So wealth means that I have abundance. Lack means I have insufficiency of a thing. Even when you go to a school setting and students have finished writing an exam and then the results is published and some students fail. Now when you check, most of the students that failed scored some points. Maybe some got 20, some got 30, some got 49. Meanwhile, the cutoff point is 50. The fact that they got some point means that they have the knowledge that is required, but not in sufficient quantity. So they have certain amount of the required knowledge, but it was not enough to put them through. So in any area in life, you have insufficiency of what is required, you will feel as though you don't have any. Whether it's in a relationship or in business, there are people that are confused as to why they keep failing in business, why they know that they have knowledge. It's like that student who failed the exam. Though he knows something, but it is not enough to pull him through, okay? So I hope you understand that idea of wealth. Now, I went in to start talking about creating multiple streams of income from one spot of idea. You know this thing they tell us, do not put all your eggs in one basket. Good and fine, but I have one question to ask. If all your egg is one, how would you put it in many baskets? So that brings me to creating multiple streams of income from one spot of idea. It's like taking a mango seed and planting it, and then it grows to become a mango tree, now develop branches, and from each of the branches, you are gaining something. You are picking fruits. Okay, that's the idea of creating multiple streams of income from one spot of idea. If you've been in my class, in my paid class, you will notice that in anything anybody can do, whether it's skill, whether it's a product idea, we can find more than 5 ways the person can earn from that particular thing. In fact, that's the basic assignment. If you've been in my class on wealth and you've not done this assignment, you are not in my class. That's the primary assignment I give everybody, and it's very easy by the time you hear the things I will share with you, okay? So, if I use myself as an author, somebody might have written 20 books and is still struggling because the whole 20 books are in one language. Meanwhile, somebody else wrote one book and have been able to put it in about 100 languages. In other words, what it means is that this person picked one idea and was able to express it in many ways. And that is how you create this kind of world we're talking about. So you pick up one idea and you are able to express it in many ways. What I'm sharing with you, for instance, I hope you know that French audience will not benefit from it. That means I have no business with this thing I'm sharing with you in their own environment. For me to profit with what I'm sharing with you in their environment, I will have to put it in their language. In other words, I'll put it in another form. It will be the same thing, but in another language. In other words, I'm able now to express it in another language, and the more I express it in another language, the more I cover greater grounds. Are you following this? So it's one thing I have to share, but I'm now able to share it in different ways, okay? Being able to express an idea you have in many ways is one way to have abundant flow of income, okay? So I hope you noted that. Now let's move on. Money highways. I told you money came to serve a system, and that system is the system of trade by barter. Now you need to understand how that system of trade by barter works for you to be able to appreciate money. Money didn't come to displace that system. Rather, it came to assist that system because that system was having some issues. Okay, it wasn't perfect in some ways. Okay, so money was brought in to help handle some of the imperfections of that system. So money didn't come to displace the system, but to help that system to function better. Understand this. Now, if that is true, it means that for you to actually understand how money works, you need to understand how that system works. And that system works based on value exchange. If you don't have a value to give, then you will not be able to function in that system. And that means you will not be able to enjoy at will the freedom of making money. So that system runs on value exchange. Therefore, for you to take advantage of the money highways, you will have to be a person of value. You must have a value to offer, or you partner with people who have values to offer. Going forward, let me share this with you. Everyone has needs. Everyone, including myself talking to you, I have needs. Personal needs, family needs, all of that. But you see, your reward in life, how much you will earn in life, is not based on the needs you have, but on the needs you meet. Not based on the problems you have, but on the problems you solve. So if you check anybody who is earning more, the person is solving more problems or is meeting more needs. Even in organizations, it's not the one that has the most need that gets the most pay. No, it's the one that solves the most need. So if you want to earn more than you are already earning, you will need to ask yourself, what are the needs you can meet? Not asking yourself, what are the needs you have? Yes, you can know the needs you have, but the most important thing when it comes to earning will have to do with the needs you can meet, the problems you can solve. This is very important to note. Now, going further, many times people struggle for position. But you see, there is a way to build yourself up for positions that you don't struggle for it. Solutions define positions. So if you build yourself around solution to offer, you'll be given a position. And that's it. Whether it's in a company, in the society, in an organization, your position will depend on the solution that you are offering. If the solution you offer is to clean, you will take the cleaner position in a company. I'm not saying that cleaning is a bad thing, but I'm telling you that you are only a cleaner because that is the solution you can offer. If you have greater ideas to offer, your position will be different. So while others may be pursuing after positions, the ones that get it will be the ones who pursue after solution. And in case I didn't tell you, money pursues after something. So you are not supposed to be pursuing money. You are supposed to have that thing that money pursues after. And when you have it, when money pursues, it meets you. It ends at you. That's very, very important. Now, when it comes to making money, having value is one thing. But there are two things we also need to pay attention to. One is the spread. The other one is the speed. For instance, you might be able to offer value, but the value you offer is only needed in your family. You cannot be wealthier than your family income. If the value you offer is needed in your community, then that's the extent you can be wealthy. If the value you offer is needed nationally, that's the extent you can expect to be wealthy. So it's important to understand the spread or the coverage of the value that you choose to offer. That's one. Secondly is the speed. By speed, I mean the frequency. And that frequency is determined by the need. Okay? How often do people need this value that you are offering? You can't be offering what people need on monthly basis and expect to be earning on daily basis. Except they need it at different times of the month. But if they need it at a particular time of the month on a monthly basis, then you can only expect to earn on monthly basis. So the speed is also important as well as the spread. If you must generate that income that is sufficient within a little space of time.